Hello, Taurus, Moon Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So, Taurus, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. We're going to see how the both of you are currently viewing this relationship and how you guys feel about it, and what actions you guys plan on taking to this direction and are moving forward. But before we start pulling some tarot, let's get the overall energy for this connection. What's the overall energy? Okay. So we do have deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Typically, when I get this card, it kind of reminds me of the Five of Swords in tarot. So before we start jumping to conclusions here, okay, deception could definitely represent that there is somebody in this dynamic, whether it's you or them, that is being very deceptive. It could also simply represent that somebody thinks somebody's being deceptive, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they actually are. So we'll see what it's more so leaning towards. Let's just not jump to conclusions right away, because deception does represent the Five of Swords in tarot, and the swords represent our thoughts in tarot. So this could just simply be a case of somebody thinking somebody's being deceptive, but doesn't necessarily mean that this person actually is. But it doesn't mean that they're not either. So we'll see what's going on. But we're going to focus on you first, Taurus, and then we'll jump over to your person. Just keep in mind that the roles can be reversed. How does Taurus currently view this relationship? Okay, so we have the Seven of Cups. We got the Three of Wands. And then we also have the Six of Cups out here. So I'm definitely getting that currently at the moment. You're definitely connecting with a soulmate. Now, this soulmate of yours, it does appear to me that they have, been a part of your life, for quite some time now. I don't necessarily feel like we're talking about a brand new person that you just met last week. I mean, you've been dealing with them for quite some time now, and they've been dealing with you for quite some time now. So this definitely isn't like a fairly new relationship by any means. But I feel like you tend to like question them and their intentions towards you. A whole lot. It's like you tend to question, like, man, does this person really love me? Does this person really care about me? Are they really serious about me? Do they really want me? Okay. Let's look at them. Yeah, let's look at them and see how they're currently viewing this relationship with you. How does this person currently view this relationship with Taurus, Sun, Rising, and Venus? All right. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Devil out here. And then we also have the Ten of Swords. Okay. I'm actually getting the Ten of Wands with this person's energy. It's the Ten of Wands could definitely represent burdens. It could represent heaviness. It could represent somebody who's just overwhelmed. There's something about this dynamic that they share with you that causes them to feel just overwhelmed and drained. I feel like they're trying their hardest, you know what I mean, to just see this entire situation through and not give up on you in their relationship with you. But there's something that tends to go on within this dynamic that they share with you that does cause them to feel very drained and like very overwhelmed and just very like exhausted. I'm kind of curious to see what it is about this relationship that actually causes them to feel this way. So let's see how they feel about this relationship, and then we'll jump back over to you. How does this person currently feel about this relationship? Okay. We have the Three of Cups, we got the Four of Swords, and then we also have the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Now, in regards to how this person currently feels, I feel like they tend to bounce back and forth between these two energies. It's like 1 minute they're just like, oh my God, like this is just too much, like geez, and then the next minute they're just like, oh my God, I love Taurus. They're perfect for me, you know what I mean? I love this relationship. All right, let's rewind. Let's look at the Devil. Tell me more about the Devil. Okay. So the Ace of Cups is attached to the Seven. Well, not attached. Let me not say that. It's not attached to the Seven of Cups. But when we do have the Ace of Cups and the Seven of Cups out on the table, it could definitely represent somebody who's very crystal clear on what their heart wants, right? Which is basically you and their relationship with you. But I feel like this person, just feels so drained. Because you tend to question that a lot, as far as like what their heart wants and why they're really here and, their intentions towards you, things of that nature. Okay, so that's why they feel very drained and overwhelmed by this connection at times. And they tend to view this relationship that they share with you as, you know, something that can be very overwhelming and burdensome at times. Which, I mean, I get where they're coming from, because like their whole MO is, well, if I didn't want Taurus, like I wouldn't be with them. Like if I didn't love them, I wouldn't be with them. If I wasn't serious about them, I wouldn't be with them and be going through all of this. You know what I mean? Let's jump back over to you really quickly here. I want to see how you feel. How does Taurus feel about this person? Okay, so you're showing up as a Queen of Swords, and that says a lot. Queen of Swords is somebody who has been through a lot, you know, in previous relationships. So you're somebody who has definitely been through a lot, okay? You've dealt with a lot of liars, you know, you dealt with a lot of people that betrayed you and, you know, deceived you. So, you know, trusting this person is not easy for you. It kind of looks like this person has never it kind of looks like this person has never actually gave you a reason to not trust them. I feel like the only reason why you don't trust them is because of everything that you've been through prior to basically meeting them. So I feel like your past traumas tend to get the best of you within this relationship, to the point where it does naturally affect your person. Okay. So it kind of makes sense as to why we got this card out here with deception. Again, it doesn't mean that somebody is actually being deceptive. It could just represent that somebody thinks they're connecting with somebody who's deceptive. And I feel like in this case, because you've dealt with a lot of people who have deceived you, you at times tend to question, am I dealing with somebody who's not trustworthy? Am I dealing with somebody who is deceiving me, or they're about to deceive me? But I get where they're coming from. You know what I mean? I get where this person's coming from. Like their whole MO is, you know, they know that they love you. They know that they want to be with you. They know they're not doing anything to hurt you or betray you or deceive you. The problem is that you seem to sometimes think otherwise. And that frustrates them and that overwhelms them, because this person, you know, just doesn't really know how many times they have to essentially prove to you that they're not doing anything to betray you or deceive you. You know what I mean? It's like they don't know how many times they have to prove this to you until you turn around and actually believe them. You know what I mean? Okay. What actions will Taurus take towards this person? Are moving forward. Okay, so it makes sense why they jump back and forth between these two energies of, oh my God, it's just so much. It's just my goodness, it's just too much. You know what I mean? To like, oh my God, like I love Taurus. Like, oh my God, I just can't even picture my life without them. You know what I mean? It's because you tend to jump back and forth between these two energies. Okay, so this is like a pattern that y'all got going on here. It's like you jump from, I don't know, man, I just think they're doing this behind my back. I just think that they're doing that behind my back. And then when you start to fall into that mindset, you know, then they become greatly affected by it. Then they start to fall into this energy of, oh my God, here we go again. Here they go. They think I'm cheating on them again. Here we go, you guys, here we go. And then you start to fall into this energy of, you know what, I trust them. Like, I was tripping back there. I was overthinking things back there. And then they start falling into this energy of, oh my God, I just love Taurus. They're the love of my life. They're the love of my life. You know what I mean? And then you fall back into this energy of like, I don't know. You know, I don't know about this person. Like, I want to believe them. I want to trust them, but I don't know if I should. And then you start to fall back into that energy all over again. What actions will this person take? Okay, towards Taurus or moving forward. So we have the Justice card. We got the Eight of Pentacles, and then we also have the World. You know, I feel like this tends to happen to you. Like when you tend to, how do I explain this? Because there's a pattern going on here. So it kind of looks like you tend to fall into this negative mindset when this person is away from you, is basically what I'm getting. So for example, when y'all both got to go to work, you know what I mean? Y'all may not work together, but when y'all both have to go to work and they're at a distance from you and you're at a distance from them, that's when you tend to fall into this negative mindset of like, oh, they're probably doing this, they're probably doing that because look, they're taking forever to text me back. And then you start to literally believe that they're doing whatever it is that you think, I guess, they're doing. And then it turns into like this big blowout between the two of you. And then you fall into this energy of, oh my God, like I was overreacting back there. Like they were in a meeting, like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And then you guys get back to loving one another all over again. And then boom, it happens again. Your trust issues start to, come up to the surface for you when they're at a distance from you, when they're away from you, is what I'm noticing. Because when this person is with you, you feel like you don't have anything to worry about, you know what I mean? But when they're away from you, that's a whole nother ball game. But I see you having another moment. Let's just call it that, a moment where you're starting to kind of get into your head and you're starting to think all these negative things. And then it's confirmed to you that I guess the reason why they went an hour without texting you is because, I don't know, they were in a meeting or they got slammed at work or whatever the case may be. And you fall back into this energy of like, oh, okay. I was like overthinking things back there. My bad. You know what I mean? I want to look at the world. Tell me more about the world. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Taurus, okay? Here's the thing. I could tell this person loves you, and I can tell that this person really wants this relationship to work, and I can tell that this person truly does care about you. But here's the thing, okay? This person doesn't want to continue to experience this time and time again, as far as you thinking the worst of them, as far as you accusing them of this, that, and the third. They don't want to continue to go through this with you or experience this with you because it does affect them in a very negative way, and it does take a toll on them and they don't necessarily like it. So they would love for that to essentially change about this dynamic here between the two of you. It's like this person feels that their relationship with you would be perfect if you weren't like this, as far as like allowing your past traumas to get the best of you or your trust issues to essentially get the best of you. They basically feel like this relationship between the two of you, it would just be completely like perfect, but that is something that this person would like for you to work on and change about yourself when it comes down to like allowing past traumas and experiences that you went through with other people to continue to affect you within your relationship with them, to the point where you're taking it out on them and thinking that they're doing you the same way Bob did you or Susan did you. You know what I mean? And the reason why I'm saying that this is something that this person would like for you to essentially change about yourself is because, to be honest, this person doesn't necessarily foresee this. Okay. They don't necessarily foresee them dealing with this for the rest of their life either. Like, as much as they want to grow old and gray with you, they don't want to be old and gray and then still having to deal with this. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to do that either, because it is very stressful and it is very overwhelming, for this person. So is this person hoping that one day you'll wake up and just automatically trust them and stop, accusing them of this, that, and the third? Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's what they're hoping for, because if this was Burger King have it their way, they would love nothing more for the two of you to grow old together. But do they personally foresee themselves growing old with you and then still having to deal with this? No. They don't. And this is why this person really does hope that like one day, like you could honestly, like seriously trust them, like seriously, like for real. Like, don't just turn around and say you trust them and then by the next day you're already thinking all these god awful things about them. Like, they really want you to trust them, like seriously, because as much as they want to grow old and gray with you, they don't foresee themselves like growing old and gray with you and then they're still having to deal with you thinking that they're doing all of these things under the sun when they're not doing all these things that you think they're doing under the sun. This person is a very simple person, which there's nothing wrong with that. But they're very, very simple. Like, their whole like MO is like, yo, like, and I get where they're coming from, but like their whole like MO is that all they really want, right, is to essentially be with you and build with you, right? And just be happy with you and at peace with you. Nothing more, nothing less, right? If they really didn't want you, like they wouldn't be dealing with your past traumas or trust issues if they didn't really want you. Like the moment that they started to realize that your past traumas were getting the best of you, your trust issues were getting the best of you, if they didn't really want you like that, they would have dipped on you a long time. They would have walked away a long time ago, honey. But because they really do want you in this relationship that they share with you, this is why this person is like, you know, sticking around, trying to work with you, trying to give you grace, trying to utilize a lot of patience with you. You see what I mean? Because they want you and they really want to be with you. If they didn't, they would have walked away a long time ago. And I feel like this person feels like you just don't see that. You just don't see that. You just don't see that. And I feel like you do see that, but I just kind of feel like your past traumas and trust issues just always get the best of you somehow, some way. Because, you know, if the shoe was on the other foot, right, and you had to deal with somebody's past traumas and trust issues, and it started to affect you in a very negative way, and it started to overwhelm you and things like that, if you didn't really love that person or cared about that person, you would have just got up and walked away. You know what I mean? But because you love them and care about them, you're going to see it through. You're going to just deal with it. And that's what this person's doing with you. But their whole thing is, it's like, they just don't see that, you know, that I keep getting that from this person. They just kind of feel like you just don't see it. You just don't see it. Like they didn't really love you or care about you. They wouldn't be sticking around and dealing with all this. Like they just wouldn't. I don't know if you've ever dealt with somebody who has trust issues before, or hasn't necessarily healed from like past traumas and experiences that they've had with other people, but I can tell you from personal experience, it is freaking hard. Like it is, oh my God, it is very hard, and it is very challenging, and it kind of gets to that point where you start to kind of like think, because I'm pretty sure they've thought it, like, man, like, are they ever gonna change? Like, are they ever gonna change? Are they ever gonna change? You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure this person has tried to do things to like make you feel safe and make you feel secure, make you feel like you don't have anything to worry about, but you still think what you think, you still, you know, have your moments. You know, I'm pretty sure they've essentially found themselves feeling like, man, like, yo, I'm doing all this for nothing. Like they still don't trust me. You know what I mean? And over time, dealing with somebody who has massive like trust issues, or they're still allowing their past traumas to continue to haunt them and affect them, you could definitely develop PTSD. I know I did. PTSD, paranoia, that's another thing. You know, it could cause a person to, you know, develop a lot of like anxiety to the point where they might even have panic attacks. Like dealing with somebody with trust issues or just, you know, past traumas that they haven't necessarily fully healed from and are dealt with, it's not easy by any means. Like you got to really, really love that person and really, really care about that person, to see see this, you know, relationship through and not give up on that person, because it's hard. It's very, very hard and challenging. And none of this is your fault, by the way. Like it's not your fault that people have deceived you in the past. It's not your fault that, you know, you've dealt with a lot of liars and a lot of untrustworthy people. It's not your fault. And I think that this person understands that it's not your fault. Hence why they're trying to give you grace and utilize a lot of patience, you know, with you, but understand that this is not a walk in the park for them. This is very challenging and very, very difficult. And I'm pretty sure at first this person probably thought the same thing that I did when I got with somebody who had like major trust issues. Oh, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna gain that person's trust by the end of the week. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not like that. It is not like that at all. It's not like that. It takes a very long time to gain a person's trust. A very long time. Somebody who has trust, yeah, it takes a very, very long time. It's a process. It's a journey, and it's difficult for everybody involved. It's difficult for you, and it's difficult for them. But I can tell you this from experience. If this person didn't love you, dude, if they didn't care about you, they wouldn't. They wouldn't be dealing with all this. They just wouldn't. They just wouldn't. And you could tell that this is somebody who wants to be here. This is not somebody who needs to be here. This is somebody who wants to be here. With them showing up as a Nine of Pentacles, this is somebody who can clearly take care of themselves. They don't need you or anybody at that. You see what I mean? So this is not a matter of, I'm just gonna have to sit here and deal with this because I have nowhere else to go. And no. They don't need you. They don't need you. Just like you don't need them. Y'all are here because y'all want to be here. You know what I mean? And that's just the reality of the situation. So I'm telling you, if you've never dealt with somebody who has trust issues before, or or if you've never dealt with an unhealed person before, this is not easy. This is not easy. Like it's not easy. It is hard. It is super freaking hard. I think that's the most challenging thing I've ever really had to honestly, well, I've been through some challenging things, but hands down, like if I were to compare having to deal with somebody with trust issues and past traumas compared to like experiencing like the ultimate betrayal, like hands down, I think that going through like an ultimate betrayal and experiencing that and healing from that is a lot easier than dealing with somebody who has like trust issues and past traumas, like because I've been through both, and I could tell you that it's a lot easier to deal with somebody who does something to betray you. You leave that person, heal from it, and then call it a day. But to deal with somebody who has trust issues, man, the stuff that a person would have to endure, it's straight out of love, to be honest, because you can develop PTSD and paranoia, and anxiety, because that's the thing, right, is that when it comes down to you and what you're experiencing, this comes out of nowhere. Like these intrusive thoughts, it comes out of nowhere. You start thinking these things out of nowhere. You start feeling these things out of nowhere. So it's like everything could be great between y'all, and then you just get this random thought, you know what I mean, and you start thinking, oh, they're probably doing this, they're probably doing that, and when you come at them, you know what I mean, it could be very like nerve-wracking, you know what I mean. Listen, I don't feel like you mean to show up in this way. I think that you've been through a lot, which explains, why you are the way that you are. But it's important that you separate past experiences that you've had with other people and your relationship with them. Because I promise you, if they didn't love you, they would have walked away from you. This is not easy. They would have walked away from you. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Nobody's blaming you or trying to make you out to be the bad guy, because you're not the bad guy. You've been through some stuff, but this ain't easy. This is not easy. Oh, no. It's the hardest thing. It is the hardest thing. And they do it because they love you. And they want to be with you. Just saying. All right? So that's what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated. And I will see you guys here next.